Hello guys, in this tutorial we will work with scales. So scales are like horizontal or vertical rulers. Let me find that in idle. Right, yeah, that's it. So this is classical scale, where in Python idle you can set indentation level, 4 spaces, right, so something like that. Okay, so let's create it. Let's give it a name, scale or something like that, whatever you like. This will be scale. How to type this? Okay, it will be in top window. And yeah, so the question is, if you do have a scale, then how to define a range? Because every scale need to go from, let's say, 0 to 100 or something like that. So can you use like from here to something? Well, yes, but you cannot use from exactly, because this is part of Python. This is a keyword. Okay, so you can use from with underscore. Okay, and let's give it initial value like 1, let's say, and 2 is upper level, for example 200 something, like pixels, or I don't know what you're doing basically, or 100, whatever. And is that enough? Well, no, because you need to set orientation, horizontal or vertical. Orient equals horizontal in this case. Okay, is that enough? Well, no, because we need to pack it. Let's say pack it, place it, scale it, grid it. So scale.pack, and then we will put it in center with anchor center. Now, of course, if you have multiple frames, you need to pay attention about positioning, but for simplicity reasons, we'll just put stuff in the center. And hopefully everything will be fine when I press F5. There you go, guys. This is very simple thing. And yeah, let's have like upper level 100 here. Right, 100. So the question is, what about name for this ruler? Can we set that? Well, yes, we can here, or here at the end we can use label. Label equals, let's say, range. Some kind of range, don't forget comma, and F5, and there you go. So it's self-explanatory right now, at least to some degree, depends what you do. Okay, well, what about color? Color of that horizontal ruler? Well, you cannot say BG color here. You must use true color, because you're going through horizontal ruler. We are not talking about background, we are talking about color through ruler. T-R-O-U-G-H, color. Hopefully I typed that correctly. And it will be red, let's say. Okay, kinda nice. Well, what about width of this thing? Can we set that with width? Well, let me test that. For example, here. Width equals, for example, 200 pixels, and you will say, okay, everything will be fine. But when I press F5, I have a problem. This is very ugly. Maybe it will solve some problems that you have for some reason, if you're creating some kind of game, I don't know, but generally it's ugly. And you cannot use width to set that horizontal width. You must use something else, and that's a length, or len, how to type this? Len, gth. I always confuse myself with these 3 letters at the end. So length of that horizontal line, of that scale, will be 200 pixels. There you go, guys. Very cool stuff. But the whole purpose of a scale is to grab value from that range and to use it. So again, we need to work here with variable. Let me see where I'm going to type this. For example, here. So variable, and let's have a name for it, like real value. So you probably know up till now that this is part of Tkinter, and real val is just a name that I give to this variable that I will use in some method or for some kind of calculations, for stuff like that. Right. Let's have it here, a real val, okay, and that thing will be integer variable. Okay, it's not enough just to have it here, you also need to state it here. But that's also not enough, because right now you need to have some way to pass that value to backend processes, to rest of the code. So yeah, you're right, we're gonna use button. So btn1 will be will be button. It will be in top window because our application is very simple right now. And of course we need to have some kind of name for it, self-explanatory one, hopefully. So submit, generic stuff, but it will get the job done. And we need to concatenate this button with method that will process this value. I mean, that will push this value in a backend processes. So command, and let's give it a name select. So this will be name of method. But also we must place that thing, pack it or grid it. So we will pack it also in a center, anchor enter, uppercase, everything, F5, and yeah, name select is not defined. I always forget to create methods for some stupid reason, I don't know. Def select, this is a method, and yeah, so let's grab stuff from here, from that horizontal ruler, from scale, and let's give it a name like selected. So selected, we will get that value when we target real value, and when on that thing we say get that stuff. Okay, and for simplicity reasons we will just print it in shell, like value or selected from range, selected from range. And if you have many of these scales, then you can say selected from range from 1 to 100, but for simplicity reasons I will just use selected from range and no numbers. Okay, so let's concatenate that with cl instead with real stuff, and F5. Okay, submit. There you go, we have a value, default one, pretty much start of the range, 20, it works, 40, it works, and stuff like that. Okay, so let's also do some kind of check. For example, let me see, if selected is bigger or equal than 50, we can also do something else, like print more than 50. More than 50, let's say. Maybe this will be useful for you. And now, yes, this thing will be executed, but also this thing if we click on more than 50 pixels in ruler. I mean value. It depends how you think. So when I say 1, nothing happens here, just 1, 20, or whatever it is. And the moment when I switch to 70, let's say, 72, then both of these options will be activated. You can play around basically. Okay, what about orientation? Like if we switch this to vertical, save F5, there you go. Maybe this is more useful for you for some cases. And of course the button will work, no problem. You don't need to change anything. Okay guys, that's it in this tutorial. I'm gonna stick with horizontal because it's kinda nice for some reason, I don't know. Well, at least that's me. As I said, thank you for watching as always, and yeah, see you next one. Okay, see you there.